My name is Perry and I live in a little cottage in North Wales. After living 10.5 years on the narrowboat, I create lampshades, weave and do lots of other crafts, and I have a gorgeous transit van that I converted into a camper called Tilly Teacup, and I often go on travels with her, and this is my life in a teacup. Well, good afternoon as it is here in North Wales. Hello peeps! I'm in different surroundings. I'll tell you about that in a sec. Hold on. Oh, before I go. You see this mug? Now, I know it's not a china cup that I normally drink out of, but it's quite a nice mug. But it's made, I think it's made of porcelain because it's got that real thin feel of a china cup. Now, I believe this is made by, I think it says Susie Watson Designs underneath, and it's made in Wales, handmade. And it's got little bees on it and just very subtle flowers, and it's green inside, and I love green. And I do like to support other artisans because, I mean, I'm one. Well, crafter, artisan, make it up, she goes along, whatever you want to call me, but I paid £16 for this. Well, I think it was worth it, I must admit, and I'm more than happy to support this lovely potter because I do love pottery, and I don't know if you get it over in the States or Australia and all the other places that I'm watched from, but here we've got a programme called the Great Pottery Throwdown, I think it is. Keith Brymer Jones, and I adore him. I've actually seen him live, him and his partner. I can't remember her name. I think it's Madge. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I can't remember your name. And they recently bought a place in North Wales. They bought an old chapel that they've converted into their living area. They've done a fabulous job. I mean, just beautiful. But the main part of the chapel is going to be a studio for potters because they want to bring back the old artisan crafts that are dying out, you know. I say they're dying out, they've died out, but people are, especially the younger generation, they're bringing them back, and it's probably happening all over the world, but it's certainly happening in the UK. So yeah, I paid £16 for this, but I do love it. Anyway, so different surroundings. Now, I'm actually up in my bedroom, my boudoir. The reason I've done this, I haven't set it up properly, so I'm not going to show you right now, but I might show you towards the end of the video what the room looks like, because my room has an alcove in my bedroom, and this is where I'm sitting at the moment. So my work table that you've seen in previous vlogs is pushed into the alcove, and it's not great for weaving. I'll still have to do my weaving downstairs, but I'm trying to make my lounge, because every time I make a lampshade or I do something, I've got cupboards up here it's in the eaves, and again I'll show you later on. But I've got to come up, grab all the lampshade frames, all the stuff, all the fabric, oil it downstairs, set up the table. Then when I've finished, I've got to tidy it. Well, you've seen it in past vlogs. You've seen what a mess I made. And I don't know, I'm a bit funny about bedrooms because I've turned my bed around to face the window. I've got a lovely window. Whilst when it was the other way, and again, I'll show you in a bit, you could see out of the window. It was sort of me like this, looking that way out of the window, or lying that side to look out of the window to the beautiful Welsh hillside. But now I can lie in bed like this and look out of that window there because my bed's over there. So I will show you later on. Because I've still not finished the cottage. Oh, I've got an armchair coming as well. I've ordered, that was a bit... Right, okay, so I need a nice armchair because I have this vision, like one of my subscribers, of sitting in my armchair. So we had a conversation and she told me about this. Sitting in my armchair of a winter's evening by my log burner with a lovely cosy wrap and... watching crap on television or whatever, on Netflix or something, or YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I just have this vision. Whilst there's a settee here, and it was already here in the house, it's comfortable enough, but I want this armchair. Now, I nearly bought an armchair the other day, and I'm so glad I didn't, because it was one of those big snuggle chairs, and it was a hell of a lot of money. And I said to them, I'll just go home and measure, because I don't think it's going to fit in. Because I had measured, Anyway, I've got absolutely no way will it fit through the doors of the cottage. Absolutely no way. So there was one I found on Facebook Marketplace. It was virtually brand new. It was only £150. They were moving to another country. Beautiful snuggle chair. Just before I went to pick it up, I mean, I'm paid for it obviously because it was Marketplace, but just before I went to pick it up, I thought, let's check again. I thought, there's no way in hell it's going to fit. I even asked my neighbours how, because they've got a big settee and a big chair in their lounge, but when I looked at their door and my door, their door's wider than mine. So I've hunted high and low for a company that does self-assembly. Now, I don't want to use IKEA. I love IKEA for the marketplace, but I don't like IKEA furniture. So, yeah, and their chairs aren't very snuggly anyway. So I had to rule them out. The only other place I could think of was places like DFS and Dunelm. You know, if you're in the UK, you know who they are. But all they say self-assembly or assembly required, and when it is, it's just the legs. You just screw the legs on. That's all you've got to do, and that doesn't work. But I found a company called Swift, SYWFT, and everything they make: settees, footstools, armchairs, snuggle chairs, 2-seater settees or 3-seater or whatever. Everything comes in a box. Everything. And you build it. Now, I spoke to this really lovely guy, and again, I'm not paid for this or anything because I don't know what it's going to be like when it gets here. But I spoke to this lovely guy called Stephen, and he was really helpful. And I have ordered a chair, and it is coming on the 8th of September. So that's going to be a vlog, I think, definitely. Especially if I've got to build the thing. Now, what I said to them was, because there's nothing worse than buying a chair or a settee that you've not sat in. And I said, you know, what happens if it's really uncomfortable, I don't like it, or it just doesn't fit the room or whatever? And they said, apparently you've got 100 days to make your decision whether you want to keep 100 days, whether you want to keep it or not. And people have returned because the colour didn't match the room in the end, or whatever the case may be. So that's good. If I don't like it or I don't find it comfortable because I bought it online, they will take it back. And I don't even have to send it back myself. I don't even have to pack it back up in its box, albeit I would do. I don't even have to break it back down again, albeit I would do, because I wouldn't just leave that to the couriers. And anyway, they might charge me. But I think he said they don't. So that's coming on the 8th of September. So I'm quite excited about it. I'll have an armchair that I can snuggle in for the winter. Now, talking of this person who talked about snuggling in a wrap, another one which is lovely of my subscribers, they have ordered a wrap. Now again, won't mention names or anything like that, and I just want to show you how I because it's remote and they don't see the walls that I'm using, so I just want to show you what I do to make, you know, so that the customer gets something like this. I'll just chuck that over there. Okay, so this lady has told me what colour she wants. Now, she wants it to match her settee. So predominantly greys with some pinks, just a little bit of pinks in. So what I do is I go and I get my wools, okay? And I put them all together. So, and I'll show you in a minute what I do. So I gather the wools that I think, because she sent me pictures and ideas and things of the combination that she might like. Always put a little bit of cream in just to give it a little bit of a pop in colour. Right, let's do that. And then I will put it in a basket and I'll show you. And I photograph it. See, there's all the wools. I photograph it and I send my client a picture. They choose it if they like it, or they can say they don't like it, or they can say, she could say, for example, take the dark grey out and just leave these subtle light greys, creams and 2 tones of pink. Or she might look at it and go, well, actually, I don't like any of those pinks, so take those 2 out. And let's just have it greys and creams. And that's what I do. And again, because it's difficult for someone to say, well, I want green wool or I want blue wool, because there's so many different shades of everything. So that's what I do. So if anybody would like one, that's the process. You let me know the colours you want. I put them together. you choose and make sure that you're happy with what I'm showing you, and then I weave away. The only thing you don't have a say in is the design. I think I've said before, I weave in stream of consciousness, so it means that I'll change the colour when it pops into my head. I do try and do sort of rows, like say for example, I do a rows of like say 30 rows of this and 20 rows of that and 10 rows of that. And then it'll be 30 rows, 20 rows or whatever it is again. I try and do that, but the block of different rows will go every so many centimetres, and it just makes it a bit more interesting for me. So I've got that done, and I'm really grateful. I'm really happy about that. I think that's really lovely. And I've got another, and I'm not speaking out of turn because she's actually put this out on comments. Another one of my ladies is writing a book. My ladies, I mean my subscribers, my ladies, what's the matter with me? And she wanted me to have a look at it, which I thought was really lovely. I mean, I'm really honoured. It's just the beginning of the premise of the idea. And like, I mean, I'm nobody, but you know, we've struck up a bit of a friendship online, and I'm quite honoured that she wants to do that. So that's what's been happening so far since my big 70 B-day. B-day. I shouldn't say that. B-day. Birthday. I meant B-day. That's what I meant, not a B-day. I'm sure you knew what I meant. Yeah, so that's that. Now, what I'm going to do... Oh, I was supposed to go to Lindisfarne Festival this weekend. I mean, I paid for it and everything, and I was going to take you on my journey because I would imagine the journey to Northumberland would be amazing. But Dad's not well. I mean, that's neither here nor there because we're not that close actually, but Dad's not well and he lives down in Devon and my brother's looking after him. My brother's come home from France to look after my dad. And if I go all the way to Northumberland, I'm a bit concerned that something might happen and I'm even further away. I mean, I'm 5 hours away now from Northumberland. I'd probably be about 10 hours away, maybe even more. So like driving. So yeah, so I decided not to go, but also for some reason or other, I wasn't feeling it. I mean, I was so excited when I booked it. I just wasn't feeling it. And if I'm not feeling it, I thought, right, don't go. And I'm going to use the time to do other things. So the fact that I haven't got that journey to show you, what I am going to put, I'm going to go for a wander through the village that I live in. Only because I discovered a place this morning at the top of the village that I didn't know existed. It's an old church. It's about 900 years old with a lovely graveyard and a lovely view. So I'm going to take you for a wander around there. And as always, I will attach it to the end of this. In the meantime, I shall show you my boudoir. And I'll be back. So let's show you around the boudoir. There are the cupboards that are under the eaves, which are fab because they've set back and they've got quite a bit of stuff in. That's the ensuite, and you would have seen this had you seen very earlier videos that I'd done when I first moved in. So this is what we've got now. I haven't straightened up my bed. My bed used to run from there to here, and it didn't really allow you a lot of room. And then that alcove there had these in, because I live in jeans and t-shirts, as you've probably noticed. I never hang anything up, so that basket and that chest have got my clothes in. So the idea was, this is my lovely little window dressing, the idea was that there's a defined line, sort of imaginary if you like, down through here, meaning that I sleep there. And now I've got a fabulous view. I mean, I did have a lovely view before, but if I lie in bed this way, I literally wake up or stare out at that gorgeous view. And in the field there, that one there, lives 3 horses. And in the morning, they're usually there and it's lovely, and the sun sets on the hill in the evening. So that's quite lovely. Now, there is my workspace. Now, the lighting there is terrible, as you can see. So what I've got to do, I mean, at the moment, if you just look under the bed, I've got an extension cable thing and it's all to the plug, because the plug's over there by the wall and there's another one over there, but there aren't any plugs here. So I'll get some cables and run them around here, get some really good lighting in that, and that will mean that it's a really good space to work in. I think it's going to work. Yes, I do think it will, because it's quite a bit of space. And just to say, the bed, this bed I got for free on Facebook Marketplace. It was an old pine bed. I'll put a picture alongside this so you can see what it used to look like. And I stripped it back and painted it. And I'm really pleased with it. It's worked really well. There you go. Yeah. And I've got my new bedding that came the other day. And I have to change that because it doesn't match that. So I've slept in the bed a couple of nights so far and it's worked well. And I think this will make a really good workspace. And that's the table there that I would have to fold up and put back up again, fold up, you know, every time I wanted to use it. Now I can just leave everything there. So let's see how that goes. So this is the headboard of the bed when it was original pine. They're not great photographs, I know, but then I'd finished painting it, and this is before I put the mattress on and the bed was facing the other way. I'm going to be truthful. Morning. Yeah, I know. Same t-shirt, same cup in the bit. Don't know which way it comes on this, but whatever precedes this little clip. I did that for continuity. Oh, you know I like to keep it real, so I'm being honest. As you know, I was going to take you through the village, and I'm still going to take you through the village, but at the moment I'm just sitting here having a cup of tea. I'm going to have some eggs. I've just got some boiled eggs on, some nice hard boiled eggs with salt and pepper and some chunks of cheddar cheese. I know, but I like it. And then I'm going to go up through the village and I'll take you with me, because as I'd said on the previous clip, I was supposed to be taking you to Lindisfarne with me, but I just wasn't feeling it and I didn't go, and that would have been an incredible trip to show you, but instead we're going to walk through the village, so I will speak to you soon. I'm going to have my eggs. Bye. I am literally nestled between these Welsh mountains. No, they're not mountains, they're Welsh hills. For a minute there because a car passed, and that's what I wake up to every day, is the Welsh countryside. It was wonderful a couple of days ago watching on the hill opposite my cottage, watching the farmer harvest the hay, and then it was all baled up and they'd obviously come down through the hill and actually past my house with all their lovely homegrown, very hard worked for hay that will be given when all the animals go in for the winter. But yeah. So again, all these hills surround this village with not many farmhouses in between. Oh, it's raining now. But I'll keep going. Also, I just want to show you this. You see these trees and all these, so if I zoom you in a little bit, zoom you out a bit, you'll see all along here all the lovely pots and the fruit trees. So apparently there's pear, cherry I believe, and apple. And it's the villagers that got together and did this. And whilst this is a bus stop, it's actually not a bus stop anymore. It's a bit of a tourist stop, I suppose, if you're walking, because it's a big walking area around here. So look at this wonderful window. It's really beautiful. And then they've got some information here about the village, about the wildlife you can see and everything, which is lovely. Look at it. And it's, you know, a nice place to shelter from the rain, which I might have to do in a minute, because look at those clouds. Still, we'll carry on and see how far I get. And then that carries on. And the actual bus stop is there. But of course, you can sit in the bus stop and just keep a peek. proud Welsh flag flying there. Now that building there is our little shop, which I'm going to go in a bit. It's basic, but it does the trick for, you know, milk and eggs and things that you might need. But look at that beautiful old building. And this horse here, apparently, that's Elvis. Isn't he lovely? He's all on his own in the field. And again, just surrounded by these gorgeous mountains. So I'll carry on up a little bit further. I don't know what the weather's going to do. If it gets too rainy, I'll stop and do the rest of the journey tomorrow. So I've gone into the graveyard, and I didn't really want to speak while I was wandering around there because I don't know, I thought it was a bit disrespectful really. So I've wandered around in silence, done a couple of voiceovers and put some background music. So if you like graveyards, enjoy. If you don't, it's 5 minutes and 40 seconds that you can skip right on by. So I'm inside the chapel now, and as you can see, it's rather lovely. I'm not a churchgoer, I'm not a believer, but I do love the buildings and the architecture and the history. In a minute, you'll see a little robin. I think I point it out, and I thought to myself, I wonder who he's come to see. Isn't it so beautiful? I came across this as well. I think this was marking the anniversary of this person's death, which was the 29th of August, which was only a couple of days ago. Quite sad, really. But yeah, we all end up in the same place. Just round the corner from this tree, you'll see, there's a tomb that's got there it is. It's got lots of ivy growing over it, and the trees have sort of grown up around it. And whilst you can look at it and think, oh, that's a shame, I sort of felt that it was being enveloped by nature and it had gone back to where it came from, which I thought was lovely. So when I saw these 5 little stones very close together, I wanted to think it was Mummy, Daddy and 3 children, all reunited. Oh, and then I walked down this lovely little, in my mind I made it up to be like a fairy grotto. That's my fantasy mind there going through. But it was actually a little pathway down to another graveyard. I think the building to the left of this picture, I think might have also at one time been a chapel, and it is now been converted into a house. But this was one of the original graveyards. You just see as I sort of come across, there we go, over that fence there, and the building there to the left, part of it I think anyway. This was at the back of the playground that I'd pointed out before, and I noticed all the rose hips coming through now, as tomorrow I believe is the first day of autumn. I just noticed the leaves beginning to turn here. So next time I might go further down there, but we're back at the epitaph that I mentioned before. And now I'm just going to nip into my village shop. So there we go. I won't take you in. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It was a lovely walk. Oh, what am I doing? Well, I've just got back from my walk. It's a cup of tea, isn't it? What else would it be? So, kettle's on. My lovely new cup. Right, okay, so what did I buy at my little village shop? Well, like I said, oops, it is a good village shop. I'm not knocking it at all. It's got all the essentials that you would need if you run out of anything. And what they say apparently is if there's certain, because they do sell a bit of meat and they sell bacon and all that sort of stuff, albeit as you know, I don't eat meat. But they do say if there's anything you want that they don't stock, they will order it, fresh fruit and vegetables. They will order it on Tuesday and it'll be there on a Wednesday. So they're very accommodating. But let me show you what I bought, because I know you like to see what I've got in my basket. So I got some eggs. So they're fresh farm eggs, which is a good thing, obviously. Now I know I'm not supposed to be eating sweet stuff, but I've cut out bread and there's no biscuits. There's nothing, there's no sweet stuff. And as you know, as I said earlier on, I've lost 5 pounds, but I do like tahini. And I'll put it a little bit in a dish and make like a little pudding of it. I know I've got some strange eating habits, but I like to sweeten it up. So some Welsh lady made in Wales lemon curd, but I do only put, this will last forever because I only put a little bit. I got some bananas because they're good for your old bones. So hold on a second, kettle's boiling. Let's just get the tea bag. Oh, talking tea bags, I've just actually bought some. So, Welsh tea bags. Now they're 80. Oh, that's my sunglasses. I'm sure it says 80 bags there. Can you see there? Yeah, I'm sure it says 80. £2.99, £3. So I suppose that's not bad. Village shop prices are obviously going to be a little bit more. What else did I buy? Oh, a couple of more bananas. And hello, missus. So that's what I got at the village shop. So really, they do have some quite good stuff in there. So that's that. Oh, let me show you this. Well, while I was spending £16 on my mug, I bought that. Now I asked the man in the shop, it's Welsh, if anybody from overseas, it's Welsh. What did it say? And it says something like, I'm going to find out exactly what it is. Hang on a minute, I'll come back to you in a sec, because it's something to do with a cup of tea, and that's why I bought it. So I'll be back in a sec. Hello. Well, I've looked it up. Now, I can't remember exactly what the man in the shop said to me, and he was lovely. But on Google Translate, it means nothing beats a cup of tea. Now, I know it was something about a cup of tea because obviously that's why I bought it. and it hangs in the place, as you saw, where I make my tea. Now, if you're a Welsh speaker or you're actually in Wales and you're watching this or it's not right, please tell me what the translation is. But according to Google, we believe everything we see on Google, it means nothing beats a cup of tea. So that's about it. Oh, no, I just thought of something. Whilst I was talking to the man in the shop, I heard there were some Welsh speakers that came in and they were all speaking Welsh, and as they left I heard them say thank you. Now I know the word for what I thought was thank you, diolch, D-I-O-L-C-H, I think it's spelt, but I believe that's a bit of a like thanks, you know, rather than thank you polite. I asked the man in the shop to tell me how to say it properly, and he said, and I hope I get this right, diolch yn fawr. So diolch yn fawr from Wales, thank you for watching. Oh, I'll have this language mastered in no time. I would like to learn a bit more, I must admit, while I live here, because where I am, there's a lot of Welsh speakers. I mean, it's Wales, it's their language, and they should be speaking it. I know in parts of Wales, they're taught it as a first language and English as a second, and that's absolutely how it should be. But yeah, so listen, thank you so much again to everybody for watching. Thank you for your subscriptions, for your, you know, for your likes and your comments, of course, your comments. And I'm interacting. Oh, there's someone at the door. I'll be back in a minute. I'm back. It was a post lady. I think I know what these are, actually. What's that? Let me get scissors. I'll open them. Oh, should I do this? Or should I do this? Sorry, I shouldn't take the mic. No, to my fellow YouTubers that do that, and all the influencers that do that with their nails. I'm joshing, come on, lighten up. What is this, by the way? Oh, I know what this is. It's from my network provider. Apparently we've all got to change some sort of plug. I don't know why. Anyway, I had a notification about it. Oh, that's boring. I thought it was something interesting. Oh, but I know what this is. Now, as you know, I'm making all these laminates. That was the box, not me. And I wanted some labels printed. So, and some cards. So, I had these done by good old Vistaprint. And whilst I know there's probably other people using the same logo and everything. Right. So, what have we got? Ah, where's my cards? Oh, there's something. Oh. Well, half of it's missing. But never mind. They're just labels. I won't bore you with the details. Because I'm going to be making candles and soap as well. I'll show you all that next time. Right. I suppose really I better go and change this t-shirt that I've had on, because I'm sure it's a bit I'm sure it's a bit whiffy by now. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks ever so much, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.